Hi, my name is Seth Greenwell, and I would like to talk about being called into ministry. It is important to remember that a calling is exactly that. It is a calling and it is not a choice. We do not get to choose where God assigns us in life. And one of the ways that God prepares us for our calling is through those that have gone before us that have already laid a foundation that we ourselves can build upon. We call them mentors. I'd like to address some areas leaders will have to navigate in their ministry by bringing forth 3 points. What is expected of us, what we will need to accomplish this, and something that I've learned from my mentor. One of the areas that we will have to navigate as leaders is working with all kinds of different people. So what's expected of us? Leaders will need to identify people's giftings and encourage them to step into appropriate ministry opportunities within the organization. And undoubtedly, leaders who guide others in this area will also deal with relational conflict. So, what will we need to accomplish this? We will need emotional intelligence, and we will also need understanding for how to navigate conflict resolution. Something I've learned from my mentor. There is always room to grow in emotional intelligence, and we can grow by asking our spouse or especially those that are closest to us as to areas where we need to improve. This will require vulnerability on our parts. Next, we need to evaluate the feedback that they give us and be intentional about growing in those areas. Emotional intelligence will equip us to handle conflict resolution. And when navigating conflict resolution, we need to first take time to pray and calm down. And when it's time to confront people involved, consider that you don't always know the heart of those people. So, as always, ask questions and then listen. Another area we have to navigate as leaders is called anticipatory leadership. So, what's expected of us in this? Well, we will need to solve problems before they become big problems and prepare to expand our organization by seeing potential where others may not. We must lead from an anticipatory position rather than a reactive position. What will we need to accomplish this? We will have to address reoccurring areas within the organization involved with strategic planning to ensure organizational health, and we will also have to be adaptable. Something I've learned from my mentor. There are recurring areas to consider within an organization during strategic planning. First is your core values. So when developing a strategic plan, be sure that it aligns with your organization's vision and core values. Then consider staffing. Do you have the staff that are going to be able to execute the potential plan? And then next is finances. Do you have the financial resources to carry out that plan? And most importantly, do you have God's permission? Ask the Lord if you have His permission to even carry out that plan. Also, adaptability is vital for whenever a strategic plan doesn't go as planned. And this can happen. And when it does, we should discuss any changes that we realize we need to make with our board of directors or others who were involved with the original strategic planning. Finally, and the most important area that demands our attention as leaders is staying spiritually healthy in our leadership. So what's expected of us in this? Well, we need to separate our walk with God from the work of God by resisting the temptation to view the time we spend with God to prepare to minister as a substitute for our personal devotion. What will we need to accomplish this? We need time management. We have to understand good time management. Something I've learned from my mentor. Time management will require us to lay out our priorities each day. And there is no greater priority than our devotional lives. This is where the enemy will attack us the most. We can be sure that this is going to be a regular attack. But we have to determine to keep our appointment with the Lord. By laying out the priorities of each day, we will have peace in that those things that need our attention are going to be there waiting for us after we have spent our time with the Lord. So, what's some of the things that we can do to help prioritize? Well, keeping a daily calendar, adjusting all those priorities in our schedule by writing them down on a calendar. Also, plan ahead for interruptions. Don't see them as something negative, but different opportunities that God may be bringing your way to deal with different staff or even different students in different areas to minister. And also, utilize a reminder app on your phone. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this video has been a blessing to you.